We've had quite a lot of questions about MAVRYX in recent months. Obviously, we've done the soft launch Vapor Expo last month, and there was loads of questions about what it is, what it's going to do, and how I can access information about it. So it was a lot easier to look at doing a video and getting it out there through our social media channels and direct to the people that were signed up. So the launch is approaching. We are currently in beta testing on the product, and we've got a scorecard or a wait list website ready where quite a few people have registered for some information. But so what I really wanted to do is just need a video to explain and answer some of those questions. Why create MAVRYX? A number of reasons. We've been in the industry since 2017. Personally, I've been prior to Arcus since 2013, and we've always seen even the bigger brands struggle to maintain a good level of compliance, and a lot of that is down to not having the tools. So we have developed proprietary software tools that we've used internally since 2017 and early in our formation. A lot of those tools were standalone. So what we decided we needed to do was to integrate or make integrations between some of those tools and develop it as a full software solution. So we knew that a lot of nicotine brands were struggling with certain compliance obligations, and the need to be able to provide an end-to-end solution to be able to allow some of the smaller brands to comply and compete with the bigger guys and try and keep as much diversity in the industry as possible. So the fact is that whilst a lot of the industry are doing a lot to comply, many are not doing enough. And it's not because they don't want to, it's because they haven't got the tools or they don't have the answers in order to comply. And with a lot of these incoming changes and a lot of the extra focus from competent authorities and enforcement bodies, the need to comply has never been greater. And the need for a real simple solution has never been greater. So we've seen and heard many claims since the inception of TPD that, we're TPD compliant, or we have a submission, so we're TPD compliant. The issue is that we've moved past that sort of mentality now, and the need for robust compliance, where as a company, Arcus has always looked at our clients' exposure and then created a ring fence around them to ensure, we do a gap analysis and ring fence them to protect them as much as possible. But a lot of the wider market are not doing that. So the difference is that MAVRYX will provide a tool and templated solutions to allow them to do that. That's the problem when you go off on a tangent and then you go off script and then you've got to just pick up where you are. So the assumption is a lot of these clients believe that because they have a product listed on the published list, the MHRA list, or some of the other competent authority lists, that they're compliant. They're completely oblivious to the fact that it doesn't mean that their product is compliant. It simply means that they're providing enough information for the competent authority to publish it. It hasn't been checked for compliance. So, there's others that think that because they've got a single point of contact, a compliance person, means that they're doing everything possible to be compliant. That's a really positive step, but with so many aspects to consider and ensure compliance, in most cases, one person just simply isn't enough for them to be able to handle, even a small company, that burden on one person, and assuming that one person has all of the knowledge to be able to handle it. It's just not enough. So, and there's a lot more to consider. Is that, whilst certain elements of compliance are very much black and white or right and wrong, there's large areas, great big swathes of areas which are grey, which require due diligence. They require robust processes. You got to be ready to argue your case against the authorities. And that's where Arcus's experience, which is all what's been packed into MAVRYX, comes to the fore. We've been working with 30 odd, 40 plus retained clients, 200 plus ad hoc clients throughout the pre and post regulated industry. And whilst, one client will experience a problem in Italy, another experience a problem in Spain, So we use that hive mind approach and proactively make changes to all of the clients. So what we've done is packed all of that experience into MAVRYX in these templates to ensure that the users or the subscribers to the product are benefiting from the experience of the wider market. Most brands don't have the experience to know how to build these processes, which is where our experience as Arcos is invaluable. And it's not just Europe, it's not just the UK. We're working on all of the European member states, Middle East, New Zealand, North America. So whilst MAVRYX is very, very much European focused in terms of the higher level functionality, the whole concept of it as a compliance file management system per product, per region, and the ability to share with downstream users is and should be viewed as a full international package. You build it and you have that single point of truth to be able to share that for all markets. So what exactly is MAVRYX? So if I had to define it to a specific group of software, it will fall under GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance, but it's probably somewhat more complex than that. So MAVRYX is essentially a product stewardship solution. So end to end, it's got 3 modules: Vista, Scout, and Vigil. So it's very much from product inception through to building those due diligence and those robust processes, testing, everything else that comes in between, and then your post-market surveillance solution in Vigil. So Vista is at the front end, which is your product dashboard. So it shows all the key data, submission dates, dates to market, etc., and then gives you the ability to drill down to specific product data, and then also the ability to be able to granularly, with permissions, leveled permissions, share that data or make that data available to downstream users. So obviously German product, you could granularly share that with your German distributor, and the ability also to share it with competent authorities. Then you move into Scout, which is where the user can run AI packaging reviews, request screening, recipe screening, so banned substance screening, toxicological monographs, toxicological risk assessment. So we have an AI QSAR tox risk assessment. You can request your CLP classifications, your SDS authoring, lab testing, etc. It's very much the core and where you're building your regulatory compliance file, your PIF. And then the last module is Vigil, which is the post-market surveillance module, which we built that tool in 2017 on the basis of Recital 45 of the TPD, which requires brand owners to have an appropriately robust system to record safety concerns. Now, by appropriately robust, it depends on the size of the company and the amount of markets, or the amount of products, I should say, not the size of the company. So if you're selling 10,000 products in the UK a month, you could argue that appropriately robust means that you can have a spreadsheet and a telephone number. And if you had any batch failures or adverse events, you could adequately cope with 10,000. If you had a 10% batch failure, you could adequately cope with 1,000 phone calls over a week or two in a single language. Conversely, if you had a brand that was selling 1 million bottles across the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and you had a 10% batch failure there, a spreadsheet and a phone number with somebody on the end of the phone that can speak only English is not appropriately robust. So Vigil is a scalable system that can record safety concerns around your products. You use a steering mechanism as a URL that sits behind your website. It's full white labeled software. So the ability then for you to have mybrand.com/safety concerns. It follows very much the yellow card system, but it works in 28 languages. So it removes the need for you to have people that speak all of the languages within the markets that you sell. It allows you to understand whether it's a batch failure, whether it's a recipe issue. You can build reports from that. And latterly, because of the other markets we work in, we've built in things like consumer product feedback, complaints, and a space for you to develop your product recall plans, which is becoming more and more essential and something that the enforcement bodies are asking about. So in a nutshell, MAVRYX helps you to create product information files or compliance files, PIF, but it provides a single place of truth or a spot, and it allows the sharing of those compliance files with the company, but also, to stakeholders within your company, but also to downstream users at a granular level. So you keep IP protected documents internal, and you only share essential documents with your downstream users. So the ability also for you to request services to support your dossier creation and meet post-market surveillance obligations. I think that's probably in a nutshell. And I mean, what we've done, in addition to our own internal knowledge that's been developed and gathered since 2017, what we've done, we actually took the concept out and interviewed I think it's over 50 brands in the development stage of the product. And we used an interview questioning system to find out which potential functions and features that the software was ideally going to have. And then we rated them. We've got their clients to rate them 1 to 10. So the initial release, the MVP or minimum viable product, is going to be crammed full of all those core features, but we've got a whole host of planned features coming in, next year probably now. So as I said before, we are in beta testing. It's being tested with quite a few of our clients. I think about 4 or 5 clients at the moment. We plan to launch in Q1 next year. At this point, I can't be certain at what point within Q1. That's very, very dependent on the beta testing to make sure we've ironed out any kinks and it's fully ready for. But we plan to launch probably in the spring. I say launch in the spring. We'll run trade shows in the spring, all of the key vape trade shows, and a marketing campaign to support that. There is a landing page at the moment which is collecting information, so a wait list on information, and you'll be able to view the QR code at the end of this video. But if you did want to visit it, it's MAVRYX.software. Thank you very much. We look forward to hearing from you.